This is Chase Utley, and this is the Phillies Show.
Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. It is Monday, August 4th, 2025. Hope everybody is doing just great out there. Ruben and Jim, it was Alumni weekend. Ruben, you had a lot of action going on this weekend.
A lot of stuff. First and foremost, so glad for Ed. It was really, and I think Ed was super surprised, like the grandeur of it. I mean, I think it was really grandiosity of the whole weekend. Yeah, he really did need to be recognized. Got a chance to see a lot of my old buddies, man. It was funny because I was sitting there. I did the ESPN radio yesterday, and Boog, John Shampi says to me, he said, "So you had all types of generations, 70s, even back to the 50s. You had 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s." I said, "Yeah, I know all these people. I bat boyed for some of them. I played with some of them, and I GM'd some of them."
Wow.
It was really, it was sort of enlightening for me. But it was so cool that I had this connection basically to all the guys. We were lining up just before we came out on Sunday afternoon, just before they announced us. And it was just so neat to be able to have those relationships with all those people and to see them all. It's really cool. It's a great event. The Phillies do it better than everybody, as usual. And really happy. Obviously, Jimmy Rollins, who is going to go down as maybe the best Philly in history, other maybe Mike Schmidt. Who knows what's going to happen with this regime? But Jimmy Rollins pretty awesome, and the words that he said were really poignant. Did you guys take note?
Oh, his speech was great.
His speech was great, but he also challenged the boys.
Yes,
he basically said, "You want to stop hearing about us, then win your own damn championship."
And they were all out there listening. Jimmy's never been afraid to speak his mind. And I do think in that clubhouse, they are sick of hearing about 08. And I do think it got back to Jimmy. And I do think that was his way of throwing down the gauntlet. It was a tremendous speech, and it was typical Jimmy. I don't think he had a note. I don't think he had anything prepared. He came out 2 minutes before stretch and banged 4 hits. It was unbelievable. It was a great speech, hit everything, and, didn't miss anything. It was a remarkable night. Ed's speech was great. Jimmy's speech was great. The crowd was great. And of course, they had a come from behind victory that was pulsating and dramatic. And the Durantula did his thing. I mean, what a great weekend.
It was. It's funny because I remember before 08, those guys were sick and tired. Every time you looked up at the screen, it was 1993, Mitch Williams, base hit the left center field. They're like, "Oh, geez, enough with the 93 Phillies and the mullets and the 80 team." And they were so, everybody was so sick of 93 and 80.
Do something about it.
And they finally did something about it. Now they're the guys that the current guys are like, enough with the Utleys and the Hamilses and the Victorinos and all that stuff. Maybe not that extreme, but you guys know what I'm saying. So that you're 100% right, Jim, with that. That's very, very true. But it was it was cool. I thought, you think like a guy like Ed, who probably didn't know kind of how he was viewed by anybody with the Phillies, and now people are walking around all weekend with their Ed Wade, Jimmy Rollins souvenir cup, and that's going to be on their in their cupboard for their next 20 years or whatever. So that's kind of cool for all those guys. A lot of fun weekend. You get to see a lot of those guys. Mike Lieberthal was in the clubhouse yesterday with his kids, talking to players and hanging out. And it's just really, really cool to see that. And the Phillies really do Alumni weekend and those types of things better than anybody. I've seen a lot of those, Wall of Fame, Hall of Fame ceremonies in other ballparks. And it really does pale in comparison.
And it's still going because I'm going to go play golf with a bunch of these guys here this afternoon at the Philly Cricket Club, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to doing it. Actually, they're honoring, I think, 25 years of the 95 Cleveland Indians team. That was a Cleveland Indians team.
Okay.
Later on this month, and I'm going to see how they'll compare it.
Oh.
I'll be able to compare it. They also have golf there as well. I think we're playing at some great golf course, too. Anyway, So it'll be fun to see those guys. But the Phillies really do a spectacular job. It was a fun. It's been a fun weekend.
So
I got to catch his the first pitch on Saturday.
So
yeah,
From
you did a good
That's the
job.
first time I did a nice frame to it too. Ed threw a nice pitch. I had a good nice frame. I had Aaron Nola come up to me and go, "Dude, you look good behind the dish."
You're right. You were talking about the guys 50s, 60s, 70s. You are the connective tissue that goes through all generations
true.
of Phillies. You've had a role and different roles and worn different hats and been around for like every era. You must be either like started really early or be really old.
Both. How about both?
So we're going to talk on this show about Jhoan Duran, the outfield situation. I do want to share one last final alumni story. It's not really an alumni story, but it kind of popped in my head. I don't think I've ever told you guys this. So it was also they recognized the 75th anniversary of the Whiz Kids. And, sadly, none of them are with us anymore. But it reminded me of this totally random thing that happened to me. I was still at the Inquirer. Jim, we had this great editor at the Inquirer, Robin Smith, the late great Robin Smith. She was a tremendous word person. She worked the night shift, and every time back then you file a story, you had to call Robin. When you were leaving the ballpark, you called Robin to see if she had any questions on your story. Well, one night I had left the ballpark and I panicked because sometimes you just forget to write something, and before print was the thing, so you're like, oh crap. So I called Robin. At about 11:30 at night, I called Robin Roberts.
Oh my God!
I called Robin Roberts.
You had the wrong Robin.
I called Robin Roberts.
That's great.
Awesome.
I called Robin Roberts.
Did he answer?
And I went, oh shit! Hung up the phone on Robin Roberts.
He's going,
So-
Todd Zalecki. What the hell's he doing?
That reminds me of another great story. So, and Ruben, when you go out to Cleveland, you can verify this story. You know Paul Hoynes, right?
Very well. I love Hoynesy.
Hoynesy is a longtime baseball writer covering the Indians for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. He's a beloved figure in the BBWAA, Baseball Writers Association. Great guy. Anyway, one year he was the president of the Baseball Writers Association of America, maybe 10, 15 years ago. So he has to be sort of the MC on Hall of Fame Day. So he wrote a first-person column about the whole day, how exciting it was, getting picked up at the hotel on this bus. And he said he writes about, walking up the stairs on the bus and taking his seat next to Robin Roberts. And the desk, some editor inserted, I took my seat next to ABC's Robin Roberts, the sportscaster.
Oh, my gosh.
They inserted it in there. They had the wrong Robin Roberts, just like you did, Todd.
Yeah, I had the wrong Robin Roberts.
That's a great story.
That's good.
Woke him up just before midnight.
Did he fix your typo?
Did not. He did not. And then I called Robin Smith after that. I'm like, made my correction. So I made
That's
it.
good, man.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
but yeah,
by the way, Robin Roberts, an absolute gem. What a gentleman, man. Super human being. It was so cool to see his grandson throw out. He looks like him.
yeah.
His grandson looked like him. I think his name was it Seth? I'm sorry. I don't remember his name, but it was so cool, man. It was really neat.
Yeah, It was a great weekend. Of course, the baseball was a lot of fun as well. And let's talk Jhoan Duran, and let's do it with the Park's first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Jhoan Duran, really the weekend could not have gone any better by all parties. So much fun. Friday night, when the Phillies came back and win that game, you could tell everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're going to see the entrance. We're going to see Duran. And then you hear the gong going on, not a bell. It's a gong. The gong rings a couple times. The lights go down. The lights turn red. The flashlights are on everybody's phone. He comes in. 4 pitches. 4 splinkers.
4 straight 98-mile-an-hour splinkers.
That is sick.
Actually, one was 100.
One was 100. One was 100. One was 100. 4 splinkers. One touching 100. The easiest, lowest drama save you'll ever see. and then he does it again on Sunday night. I mean, what are you guys' early first impressions of the Durantula experience?
Well, I'm glad that he finally showed us a fastball Sunday night.
Yeah.
I mean, quite literally, I mean, that was the fastest pitch ever thrown by a Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might not be off base. Ruben, you might want to jump me for this, but that might be the best stuff, pure stuff in the history of the Phillies organization. The stuff that comes off this guy's fingertips.
I don't disagree with you, man, as far as just pure velocity and movement. And
these guys
life.
throw harder than ever now, and
Yeah, so the cool thing about it is it's not just that he throws super hard. He does throw strikes with it. He's confident with it. I mean, you have to throw strikes. And I was a little surprised he went 2-0 up 2-0, and they swung at the next pitch.
It was a strike, though.
It was a strike, but still, you would think that you'd like to try to get this guy to maybe a little rattled. Not that he rattles; he doesn't look like he rattles.
You don't.
But the beauty of this guy is that he's going to generally throw it over the plate. Doesn't walk guys. He trusts his stuff, and the way he handled himself, it's just super impressive. After the game, he does the interview on TV. He does it in he has a translator out there. Diego's out there. He doesn't even use him. I love that. I love that about him. I thought it was really cool. He seems like a very calm, confident dude. And under these circumstances, I mean, you can get really riled up. I mean, the fans were going crazy. His song was coming out. Some guys are sort of built for this. I keep saying it. We've said it a million times, guys. It's hard to be this guy. That guy doesn't exist. The Mariano Rivera's of the world and the Billy Wagners of the world don't exist. You want to know why they're Hall of Famers? Because they're unique. And when you have a guy that like this, I mean, you got to give Dave Dombrowski a ton of love. I don't know how the season's going to pan out.
Right.
We've talked about it a million times. They got the guy. And they got the guy without moving Crawford, Miller, or Painter. Think about that for a second now.
It's impressive.
All three of those guys, and you got a guy. This is a dude. And my goodness, it's a cool thing to watch.
He is a early read. He's a showman. And you're right. That pulse it doesn't elevate. I mean, I remember when Bryce Harper came over here and he was playing right field, and every night, when he'd warm up in the first inning, he'd throw the ball into the upper deck and he'd bow to everybody in the right field stands. And I can just picture every little kid, Phillies fans telling their dad, I want to sit in right field. I want Bryce Harper to bow to me. I want to take a chance at catching that ball. I can just picture every Phillies fan wanting to see this entrance, this dramatic entrance. It's entertainment tonight. It's sort of like WrestleMania, whatever you want to call it. The lights are blinking. You got this spider crawling across the scoreboard, this kind of ugly, bulbous spider. I'm not really sure what that
Durantula. Look at the black window. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a show, and then he backs it up. He backs it up.
He does
with gas and handshakes. That's the most important stat for a closer. Handshakes and hugs from JT Realmuto, and he's getting them.
Well, Sunday night, of course, Sanchez is pitching unbelievably well.
Wow.
84 pitches through 8 innings. And I will tell you this, though. This is the first time in a long time where I think every fan in the stand, rather than going, oh, man, I'd really love to see a complete game. Oh, man, I'd love to see Wheeler finish this one off, or Nola, or whomever. Every fan in the stand's going, I hope Rob Thompson pulls his ass out of this game. I do not want to see a complete game tonight. I came here to see Durantula, the show.
And that's what Rob said afterwards. That's why we got him.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
And did you catch? You mentioned, Jim, that last Sunday night we finally saw his fastball. I don't know if you guys caught this, but the last pitch of the game, 2-2 pitch to Riley Green, Duran shakes off JT. And after the game, JT said, he's like, I'll be honest with you, he thought I called changeup, and we're like, what'd you call? He's like, oh, I called curveball. He's like, I just wanted to see it, so I wanted to call curveball there, but he heard changeup in his pitch comm because it was really loud and he couldn't really hear it, and so I just went with fastball, and he threw it was like 102.7 at the very top of the zone, and Green swung through and missed it. But JT said, yeah, next time, hopefully, well, I still want to see the curveball. So we're gonna work that in. So first game was just splinkers. Sunday night it was fastballs and splinkers, and one attempted curveball that was shook off because of a misinformation or on the pitch comp. So that was kind of cool.
Well, it was a great show, and that was First Pitch. It's been brought to you by our partners, exclusively our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. The website is parkscasino.com. You must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kratz, there are a lot of people out there that pay rent and they don't get anything for it.
Might as well change that. You can get some rewards for flights, hotels, tons of stuff.
With Built, you can earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards airlines, hotels, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and much more. It doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and enjoy experiences just for Built members every month. They're turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood, wherever you call home, by going to joinbuilt.com/foul. That's JOINBILT.com/FOUL. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/foul. Go for it.
All right, we're back, and it's Monday. It's time to do a little Manco Best Week. Manco and Manco, it's the best of the best. Manco Best Week. Pick the best Phillies player, play, performance, moment, whatever we want to do every Monday. Gentlemen, does anybody have a nominee? You guys want to name anybody who wants to start? Manco Best Week?
Many
Go ahead,
candidates. Go ahead, Ruben.
No, go ahead, Jim.
You know what? I'm going to keep riding the Schwarber train.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps creeping up on the MVP chart for me. Serious candidate. But they're, like I said, for MVP, serious candidate. But for the Manco Best of the Week, we have a ton of candidates as well. I'll let you guys articulate some of them, but I'm going to go with my guy Schwarby.
Yeah, he had a huge home run yesterday, man, and like a timely one.
Yeah.
It's such a different situation going into that bottom of the ninth, 2-0 as opposed to 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
One mistake, the game's tied. One mistake when it's 2-0, the game is still in hand. And that just, I got to believe that the Durantula had to at least a little bit have to exhale when that ball almost goes off the Richie Ashburn alley area.
Poor fan,
He just flicked at it, man. High fastball. And I'm telling you, man, he's the modern day Babe Ruth. There's no question in my mind.
Locked in.
And he's really, really good, man. And listen, if he's not somebody that people aren't considering for the MVP, then they are dead ass wrong. Because I think that this guy, it's hard for me to think of anybody else who could be in that spot. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
It's funny you mentioned how he flicked that. There are some times when he just crushes a home run, and it's I almost feel like he took a half swing at it. It's not a half swing, but he's so strong and he's so quick to the ball that you go wow, he's not swinging out of his shoes even. It looks like he's that, he's fantastic. So
who you got, Todd?
I'm going to say Christopher Sanchez based off of his performance on Sunday. And you know what? And I was looking at the numbers, and I also thought he didn't pitch great last week in Chicago, but he still gave this team a chance to win. He gave up, I think it was 4 runs in 6 innings. He gave up a couple home runs, but that's a bad day for Christopher Sanchez.
Right.
You go oh man, he wasn't that good today. And you go, 4 runs in 6 innings, a lot of guys would kill to have that type of performance. So this past week, 14 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2.45 ERA. And last night it was just amazing watching him go, just getting guys up. In the 7th inning, couple hits to start the inning, mixed in a walk in there to load the bases, but three ground ball outs, gets out of the inning with unscathed. And the guy, you talk about MVP candidate, Christopher Sanchez is really pushing his way towards the top of that NL Cy Young candidate.
Amen.
So, Skeens, Wheeler, Sanchez for me right now in the top 3. We'll see how it finishes out, but Sanchez is definitely in that conversation.
So I'm going to go dual, and one's going to be the Durantula, even though he only pitched 2 times in the week. The impact that he's made already, I think, is huge. I'm going to go with him, and I'm going to give an honorable mention to Dave Dombrowski. I got to give him some love. I know he didn't get that big right-handed bat, and the offense is a concern. They haven't been able to put together a lot of offensive thunder, but they have to rely on those big boys to do the job. And Turner's got to pick it up. He's really struggling. There's some other guys in this lineup that have to do some damage. But Dave Dombrowski deserves a lot of love for the fact that he ended up getting the best closer in the game, and he did not give up the entire farm for it. Had to give up a lot, but he didn't give up the farm for it, and he still got a lot of assets in the coffer. So that's where I'm at on the best of the week. Manco, best of the week.
I actually thought this on deadline day, and I really think it now. The Phillies might end up with the most impactful player that was traded at the deadline.
Amen.
Yeah,
that's
right.
why he's got to get some love for it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's move on out. Ruben, you mentioned not getting that right-handed bat, and I want to get your guys' opinions on this. They get Harrison Bader, and Thursday on the Zoom call with reporters, Dave Dombrowski says, somebody asked, I can't remember who asked it, but how much is Harrison Bader going to play? He's like, well, this is Rob Thompson's decision, but he's going to play a lot. And then Friday, Rob Thompson says he is going to platoon him in center field with Brandon Marsh, at least through the first 6 games. Is that a lot? Not in my mind. 3 out of the first 6 games is not a lot starting. What do you think is going on with the outfield situation? Do you think this is just a short-term thing, and Rob's not going to come out and obviously lay out the plans, or do you think this is how they might run this outfield situation with Harrison Bader the final couple months of the season?
I think he's going to kind of evolve into a regular in one of the 2 spots, center or left. I think I might be wrong here, but it might be a player's manager wanting to give Kepler a little more rope. And if he doesn't start producing, we're going to see Crawford and Bader and Marsh are going to fill those 2 spots. So I think it could be coming soon. I think we're reaching a time when a decision will be made. But I do agree. I do believe Bader's going to have the chance to play a significant role in this pennant race.
So Bader's going to be the center fielder every day. And he's going to do it starting in about 5 more days. And I think, and I don't want to kill someone's fate, but I do believe that that Kepler's going to be the guy that's going to be the odd man out. I believe that they're going to platoon Marsh and Otto Kemp eventually in left field when Alec Boehm comes back to play third base. That's my feeling. I've been thinking about this for a long time as a GM, as a manager, whatever the case may be. That's your best team, I believe. And unfortunately, Kepler hasn't really come around. He's had some decent at-bats at times. He's been productive at times, but when you're hitting 200, it's a production business, man. And I just think at some point you're going to have to cut bait. And I think it's going to happen here pretty soon. And the timetable for me is probably when Alec Boehm gets back. He's getting close. Right. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 10 days. I don't think it's going to be Crawford yet because I don't think he's going to be playing center field every day. I think Bader is. I talked about that. I thought he was going to be coming in on August 1st, but it's clear after getting Bader that they want somebody else in center field because they're not ready to have Crawford be that center fielder every day in this situation. That's what I think is going to happen. And, I think it's a difficult situation for Kepler, but he really hasn't produced the way that I thought he would, and that obviously the front office and the staff thought he would.
Yeah, Bader's. His splits this season, lefty versus righties, are fairly similar than the mid 700s, which isn't great, but it's a lot better than most of the Phillies outfielders. Marsh is hitting righties pretty well, 767 OPS in the 500s against righties, and then you have Kepler. Kepler, it'd be one thing if he was crushing right-handed pitching, but he's not. He's got a OPS in the 660s against righties. Lefties, it's obviously way worse. He's in the 500s against lefties. So it's hard to make the argument that there's a platoon advantage there by having Kepler and say Kemp in left field, because Kepler's not producing against anybody. And I know about a month ago in Houston, he was saying he can't get into a rhythm, but at some point it's like, all right, you're playing a lot still. So
yeah.
When you play against righties, you're playing a lot.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. So very interesting to see how it shakes out. But I agree with you, Ruben. I think this is Rob. When Rob said that on Friday, I know it irritated a lot of people, but sometimes they just have to say something without tipping off their plans to the public, right?
I mean, be politically correct, man. I never, sometimes when you guys ask me questions, I can't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Right, exactly. And that's just the way it is. It doesn't mean that that's 100% what that guy is thinking. Yeah, Ruben, there were definitely times where we're walking away going, what is this guy talking about?
Exactly.
There's no way he believes this, or that makes no sense. And
correct.
Coming out of the deadline, they were facing righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty in 6 games. So that kind of made it convenient to continue the platoon. But, Thursday's an off day when you get through the Baltimore series. And to me, that would be a time when they would make this decision. So you don't think Crawford's coming? I mean, everything I hear is he's a better left fielder than he is a center fielder. I mean, to me, he could be in that left field mix. But
I don't think they want to platoon him. I think they're going to go ahead and platoon Marsh and Otto Kemp out there and left. That's my feeling. I've been thinking about this a lot because Otto Kemp's got to get a little bit further away from the baseball. He's not a great defender at third base, and that's the reason why you saw Sosa out there yesterday.
Yeah.
And Kemp he's got a pretty good bat as he settles in.
Yes, he does.
We might even see more. I mean, he had a couple. I mean, Friday night, he comes
great
in.
At bat. Huge at bat.
Two of them.
Clutch.
Comes off the bench and has 2 great at bats.
I love his instincts at the plate.
Yeah, he's a ball player. I like him too. He plays with some toughness and aggressiveness, and he seems to have crossed that line where you're a guy up from AAA, and now it looks like he really fits in. So I like him.
Yeah, the Phillies guys open a 3-game series Monday night against the Orioles. If you can't get down to the ballpark, you can maybe watch the game over at Parks Casino.
Yeah, our favorite.
They got a great sports book there, Ruben, right? But also you can follow along and have some fun on your phone as well.
No doubt. It's the one and only app that I would recommend. It is the Bet Parks app. It's really cool. I've been actually fiddling around with it quite a bit lately and playing some of these games. We've talked about it a million times, but Huff and More Puff is pretty cool. Cash Eruption, Capital Gains. There's some really, really cool games. But in addition, you can go on sports and you can literally bet on anything for the game. Philadelphia, you can bet pretty much pitch to pitch. You can bet all types of parlays, all types of stuff. You can do it right here on the app. It's pretty darn cool. They also have BetWire, which is on the app as well. It's for your sports betting. It's a live feed right inside the Bet Parks app with quick videos, hot takes, game predictions by some people from all over the country, pretty famous people. And new casino users can get up to $1,000 cash back if you're down in your first 24 hours. You got to see betparks.com for details. You must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play. You love to win. You bet Parks.
Love it. Phillies, like I said, open a 3-game series Monday night against the Orioles. Monday night, 6:45 first pitch. Jesus Luzardo is going to try to continue his success that he had last week against the White Sox when he threw 7 scoreless. Made a little mechanical adjustment with his setup. Through all out of the stretch, his entire in-between starts last week against Cade Povich. Tuesday night, 6:45, Taiwan Walker against Dean Kremer. And then Wednesday afternoon, I think it's like a 12:45 start, if I'm not mistaken, Ranger Suarez against Trevor Rogers. So, Phillies trying to keep up with they're on a little bit of a roll. I know they stumbled last week against the White Sox, but they've won 3 out of their last 4 series. They have a half-game lead over the Mets in the National League East. So interesting week with the Orioles coming into town, and also keep an eye on kind of what's going on in the minor leagues, in that not only Justin Crawford and not only Andrew Painter, but David Robertson is getting closer to coming back. He's been okay so far. The numbers haven't been great, but the velo is like 92, 93-ish. He threw 30 pitches the other day. And according to Rob Thompson, he bounced back really well from that. And David was pretty optimistic and felt really good about the fact that he threw 30 pitches and bounced back pretty well. So keep an eye on that. Joe Ross is getting closer to coming back. Jose Alvarado is going to be at the ballpark on Monday and is going to head out to Lehigh Valley soon after that. So there's a lot of kind of moving pieces, guys, and the bullpen could look a lot different this week, and certainly in the next couple weeks once Robertson, Alvarado join the team, and Ross, and
think about it. There's 5 guys who are coming back. 5. They're getting 5 more players. That's a lot on their 26-man roster. Boma's coming back. Alvarado will be back. You talked about Ross. Robertson's going to be ready. I mean, you're talking about, pretty significant change in this overall roster. And it will be really interesting to see if Bohm can actually be the 4-hole hitter that they need, because while JT's swinging them up fairly well right now, he's not your prototypical protection for the 4-hole.
Well, guys, we'll be back later this week.
That was fun. Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.